ultimatum. Before I watched this episode, I received a message on Skype, and somebody was telling me shit is getting real. And whew, I have to acknowledge. During the second half of the episode, I was really sitting here like really tense and being like, so wow, yeah, shit got real. Nevertheless, I tried to get through the episode a little bit more chronological. It's always hard because I literally just stopped watching it. I'm still seeing the credit screen, the post screen of the credits there on my monitor, and okay, trying to get the episode straight in the order. First of all, it is always interesting to see the recap at the beginning of each episode when there's last time on the episode of Korra, we discovered that something weird happened. And often enough, it's a little bit of a cheap trick. Often enough, they use those backflashes to clarify stuff or yeah, I guess clarify is fine enough as an explanation. About stuff that went on in the last episode. So either something that was not clear, or they give it a certain notch so that the viewer definitively knows what the writers are building on. So in this case, it was like what we did see last time was just the Red Lotus lava bender guy tearing down the walls. And to be honest, by the way, I was like, this was one of those OP moments. One of those OP moments, overpowering moments, when it took, at the end of the second season of the original series, it took half a dozen Dali agents to take down the big walls of Ba Sing Se. Now it's just this one lava bender dude who does this lava trick and the wall is down. Huh. But yeah, at the end of the last episode, it was just like the walls came down and you see people being like, yay, running through the breach and everything. But it wasn't really clear to which extent everything goes. Now, thanks to the narrator, not really a narrator, the guy in the opening who talks a lot. Thanks to him, we now know that apparently the entire city fell into chaos, and we see it in the lower ring. There are buildings burning down with people inside, except then they are rescued last second by some outsider relatives, while their own matriarch is willing to stick in the place and die with their entire family. Which was kind of weird. I mean, that nobody in the family had the idea of, well, Mom, it's nice you like the place, but we have to get out of here because we otherwise burn to death. Okay, this weirdness of the matriarch of the Bolin family or the Marco family aside, because she was really weird the entire episode. I mean, actually, no, she was not weird. She was just this very eccentric, a little bit senile old person, probably a trope in itself. But that her entire family just played along and sat there in the about to be burned, to be burning flat, and are just sitting there. Mom doesn't want to go. But, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. The opening guy, the dude in the opening pretty much explains, well, the entire city falls into chaos. We haven't seen this entire city falling into chaos, and without his explanation, the riot scenes later wouldn't really make sense, but now we know, oh god, the entire city is falling into chaos. It's very interesting when this backflash guy actually revealed stuff the previous episode was not able to make clear itself. And also, just a very funny side note, still again about the shit is getting real, this episode, if you look at it, usually it's rather quiet during the title screen. But this time, this episode started with an inception like, there, you already knew you are up for a hell of a ride. So, I'm not sure. I guess you have seen the episode, so yeah, all the coming to Korra, giving Korra the ultimatum, finding her, having a nice reunion thingy. Of course, nice guy. Those are two nice women. Why don't you date such women like those? Also, I really like that they make it so clear that Korra is really just a little bit bulky for a girl. And Asami is more the pretty one. That they make it very clear that the grandma is so blandly pointing it out. And also, it kind of shows an interesting spectrum in Marco's taste, doesn't it? Because he has the range from the really, really pretty girl to the more tomboyish girl. Even though they both have strong and fiery personalities, so I guess there's kind of a common scene running through it. And just a small clarification, because last time, or the previous times when Zuko appeared, I was like, oh, Fire Lord Zuko, because they still call him Lord Zuko. This is kind of confusing, you have to admit. But as somebody in the comments pointed out to me, it is confirmed now. Apparently Zuko isn't in charge of the Fire Nation anymore. His daughter is the current ruler. Yeah, but this is only as a side note. It doesn't really change a lot about the story, but... since I kind of spread wrong facts, I felt like correcting them right here, right now. And then, of course, we get to the second half of the episode after some nice Bolin moments, I have to say. Bolin with the riot crew being like, hey, you have to go there, there's the Earth Queen's gold. And then flying the airship, which actually kind of works. And his reunion with Paku, his meeting of Zuko. He had a lot of nice moments in which he still was comic relief, but without being the butt of the joke. He was funny, but in a way that you see that he was not the subject of being made fun of. He was just generally funny to watch, which is a little different, and it is more respectful to him as a character, right, from the point of view of the writers. Yeah. Second half, I mean, a lot of action. There's not much to say about big fat action scenes. But what stood out to me was what kind of badass airbender Tenzin is. Many people were like, whoa, Zaheer, how can he be such a super bender? I mean, of course, apparently he has studied airbender philosophy his entire life and knew a lot about it. So he has probably more knowledge about the airbending culture than Korra, at least. It's not too easy to be more into this kind of stuff than Korra. Tenzin, of course, bests him and his 3 kids probably as well, since he raised them very early on in this entire culture. Even though I'm not so sure if Milo... But yeah, he is just a kid, so... And he is still likable. I mean, I can't point out enough how much I hated him in Season 1. He really grew on me in Season 2. He was amazing in Season 2. And in Season 3, so far, he hasn't let me down. Sometimes he was annoying, but not in an unforgivable way. He was just like, you little brat, you. So yeah, we have Zaheer, who is very, very familiar with everything, and he probably even studied their fighting style before he was able to learn airbending. I mean, it's part of their culture, this whole being evasive thing. I mean, you often enough see them fight without actually using airbending, or in training, I mean. And so it isn't really surprising to me that once he got airbending, and he probably got a few days or weeks in his cell to practice unwatched, so I never had a problem with believing that he was rather good when he first revealed that he is an airbender. But for some people it was like, oh, this doesn't make sense, it's so convoluted. Never had the problem, but to kind of to show that, yeah, he is not so uber as an airbender, because when he meets an actual airbending master like Tenzin, he is losing. He is losing the battle, and to the point where his girlfriend intervenes and the other 2 join the fight as well. Tenzin was winning. And Tenzin was even able to hold his ground against those 3 super benders. I mean, he was roughened up and he would have lost in the end, but he was able to stand his ground for a bit, which is still showing how badass of an airbender Tenzin actually is. What often enough gets forgotten with all the poking fun of him and making him the butt of jokes and stuff like this. He is really amazing. And also, nice thing to point out, this was the very first time ever we saw an airbender battle between 2 airbenders, because a serious one at least. Because, well, in the original series there was only 1 airbender. And so far in Korra there haven't been bad airbenders until Zaheer. And I mean, there have been probably some small... Yeah, we saw the training camp of the Dai Li and stuff like this, but I don't really count this. This was not really actually serious fighting. But this time Zaheer versus Tenzin, it was interesting to see. Even though Zaheer was fleeing most of the time because he knew he had no chance against Tenzin. What was a little bit mean was that Boomy had to fight the lava bender. He was really just like, help me. I'm not really sure if Tenzin picked the right person to stand by his side in this case. I mean, Boomy was really just distracting lava dude. He wasn't really capable of doing a lot. I mean, Kai did more with distracting Boomhead girl. Sneaky Sneaky Boom Man was the original guy's name, so she's Sneaky Sneaky Boom Girl. So yeah, a few interesting facts there. First of all, that we kind of get the message that no, Zaheer, you are wrong. When you do your entire cut off the heads of society falls apart and ends up in riots. So it would have been really surprising if the show actually went for an angle in which this kind of anarchy, this kind of we don't need somebody on top to rule, that this angle would actually turn out to be the right solution. So they made it very, very clear that no, even if you have an evil tyrant, getting rid of her will just lead into chaos. So the show made clear that Zaheer's way of doing things is wrong, because then we get chaos, and not the good kind of chaos, the bad kind of chaos where people actually take everything apart and buildings burn down with people inside. I just have to point out the scene again, because this scene is really like, first they make it look like they are just rioting through the upper ring. No, the riots are everywhere. The entire city is burning. Yeah, Zaheer wanted to be a great, the great freer, the guy who frees the people, but instead he became the Joker from the Nolan movies. Good job, Zaheer. Good job. You just have the world. You just leave the world to burn. Great job. Yeah, so we have established that Zaheer is really, really evil. And oh yeah, the airbenders. God damn it. I mean, nobody got away except Kai, maybe. All the other airbenders are still hostages. Tenzin, I was really afraid when Tenzin said the line, as long as I have a breath in my lungs, I will stand against you. I was worried for a moment that Zaheer would repeat his trick he had done on the Earth Queen. Without spoiling anything, I just saw the second part of a certain movie in cinema a few weeks ago, and I was stunned by a certain killing off of a character that happened. Who knows which... Who saw the movie will probably know which one I'm talking about, and you don't have to name it in the comments, because then people who haven't seen it will be spoiled. Keep it in mind, no spoilers, please. So yeah, I was really stunned there, and I was like, I don't want to see this repeat with Tenzin. You can kill off an Earth screen, and since they still have a little bit of trouble saying it absolutely clear, like, she got killed. I mean, in the intro scene, it was like, the Earth Queen got Zaheer toggled the Earth Queen. So still not acknowledging that she might be dead, but then we got Grandma, what's their family name? I still don't know their family name. The Marco Boomy Bolin, the Marco Bolin grandma. And she's like, oh, rest in peace, to the image of the Earth screen. So, it is somehow funny to see how the show struggles to acknowledge that she got killed. But yeah, thank God they didn't kill Tenzin. But holy crap, he and his siblings got roughed up bad. Yeah, shit got real. Let's see how this is going to continue.